Once upon a time in the vibrant village of Nyalenda, nestled by the sparkling shores of Lake Victoria, lived a young girl named Amani. Amani's father, a wise elder of the village, always reminded her, "Our ancestors watch over us, and they will guide our paths as long as we respect the land and its spirits." Growing up in this tight-knit community, she had always felt the loving gaze of her ancestors upon her. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the sky transformed into hues of orange and purple, Amani ventured to the lakeshore. There, she lit lanterns made from woven reeds and palm oil, sending them afloat on the waves. Each lantern represented her prayers and hopes. Villagers believed that these lights would call to the fishermen on the lake, guiding them back home safely after a long night of fishing. One fateful evening, as Amani set her lanterns afloat, she noticed an unusual light flickering in the distance. Intrigued, she followed it along the shoreline, her bare feet dancing over the cool sand. Soon, she came upon a magnificent boat, its sails catching the evening breeze with ease. A tall, handsome man tended to the vessel, his skin kissed by the sun and his hair adorned with beautifully woven beads.
"Jambo, Sana." Amani greeted with a bright smile, her heart fluttering at the sight of him. "Are you a fisherman from the neighboring village?" The man turned, surprised, his deep brown eyes scanning Amani. "I am Nuru, a sailor from the coastal town of Kisumu. I've anchored here while my crew rests. What brings you to the water at this hour?" "I light these lanterns every evening," Amani said, her voice full of pride. "They guide the fishermen home to safety." She gestured toward the floating lanterns shimmering on the water. Nuru's gaze softened. "You have a beautiful heart," he replied, "but I fear the waters are becoming less forgiving. The fish are disappearing, and the storms are growing more violent. Perhaps your light will not just guide the fishermen, but also warn them of danger." As dusk enveloped the village, Nuru decided to join Amani. They spoke about their lives, and he shared tales of his adventures at sea, of dolphins dancing alongside his boat and islands adorned with vibrant cultures. As the night unfolded, Amani felt a connection with Nuru that she had never experienced before. Days turned into weeks, and Nuru returned to Nyalenda often. The villagers welcomed him warmly, fascinated by his tales. Children gathered around him, eyes wide in awe as he spoke of faraway lands and adventures. With each visit, Amani and Nuru grew closer, and soon, love blossomed between them. However, lurking beneath the surface of their idyllic romance was a growing concern. The village elders had sensed troubling signs. The fish were indeed vanishing from the lake, and whispers of a company planning to build a hotel along the shore reached Amani's ears. The elders feared that the construction would further deplete the fish population and endanger their way of life. One evening, as Amani and Nuru sat by the lake, Amani's brow furrowed with worry. "Nuru, what will happen if the fish disappear completely? Our village depends on them." Nuru reached for her hand. "I promise to help you and your village. You are my home now. We will find a way to protect these waters." Over the following weeks, Amani, Nuru, and the villagers organized meetings under the old baobab tree, sharing stories and traditions to raise awareness of the impending hotel project. The village united in purpose, led by the wisdom of the elders, who recalled the stories of their ancestors. One elder, Babu Juma, stood before the villagers one evening, his voice resonating like thunder. "Our ancestors have gifted us these waters. We must protect them with all that we have." That night, as the stars sparkled over Nyalenda, Amani prepared the lanterns with Nuru by her side. But this time, the lanterns wouldn't just guide fishermen. They would also symbolize their fight to protect their home. Instead of the usual palm oil, Amani infused the oil with the fragrant essence of lemongrass, hoping to attract attention from the spirits. The following day, the villagers gathered at the lakeshore, setting hundreds of lanterns afloat, singing the songs of their ancestors. Their voices filled the air, a harmonious blend of hope and defiance. Nuru, standing among them, felt as though he had become a part of something greater, their struggles for survival intertwined with his love for Amani. As night fell, a massive storm swept across Lake Victoria. Waves crashed against the shore, but the lanterns stood tall against the harsh winds, shining brilliantly in the darkness. The fishermen who were caught in the storm caught sight of the flickering lights, and many of them turned their boats back towards the shore. Nuru, his heart pounding fiercely, knew they had to bring the fight to the next level. With Amani's support, he organized a peaceful march to the town hall in Kisumu, where they planned to confront the developers. Equipped with stories of the village, the fishermen's reliance on the lake, and the cultural significance of their lands, they rallied to defend their home. On the day of the march, however, the company's representatives were met with a surprise. They had planned to ignore the concerns of the villagers by displaying their power and wealth. But as thousands of villagers gathered outside the town hall, chanting and holding signs adorned with both beautiful artwork and heartfelt messages, they realized that the people of Nyalenda would not be silenced. Nuru stood at the forefront, alongside Amani, speaking passionately of the need to listen to the community and the dangerous consequences that would arise if they proceeded with their plans. His charisma and genuine love for the people shone through, captivating the audience. Their pleas for understanding and respect echoed off the walls of the town hall. Days turned into weeks of negotiations, and ultimately, the company agreed to halt their plans for the hotel, promising to work with the villagers to establish sustainable fishing practices that respected the environment and the culture of Nyalenda. As the victory celebrations commenced, the villagers danced joyfully by the water, under the warm glow of the lanterns. Nuru and Amani stood side by side, knowing their love had kindled a fire of hope that would endure in the hearts of their people. "You know, my heart was not just guided by your lanterns, Amani," Nuru said softly, gazing into her eyes. "Your spirit lit the path to unity and resilience." As the night wore on, Amani turned to the water, her lanterns reflecting on the surface, shimmering like stars fallen from the heavens. "Together, we can illuminate the darkness always," she replied, her heart swelling with love and gratitude. In the small fishing village of Nyalenda, the power of community triumphed over greed, and the bond between Amani and Nuru grew stronger, thriving in love, tradition, and the sacred waters that sustained them all. They learned that real wealth lies not in material treasures but in hope, love, and the bonds that unite us.